What is a fundamental reason as to why people are not pleased in the bedroom? Shall I tell you why? Let's come back to what you said at the beginning. Pornography. I give you why. Let's draw the picture and not draw the picture, but let's drive the point home. Why is it that pornography is destroying?
Not be too graphic, inshallah.
Yeah, why is it is destroying intimacy inside of the households? And by the way, wallahi, the sad and painful, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching reality is that qaleel, very, very little, you will find a brother or sister who has not been exposed to this filth. Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
If I was reading a statistic, pornography gets more views than YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all combined.
Forget that, akhi.
Every month.
Forget that.
Remember.
The porn industry makes more money than Sony, all of their phones, their products, the PlayStation, Microsoft, Apple combined. Apple is the biggest.
That's a lot.
It's a trillion. It's a $1 trillion company.
Think about it, it's just videos. It's not like they're selling
Apple,
that
just Apple is a $1 trillion company, my brother. Just Apple is a $1 trillion company. It's trillion now, right? Yeah, Apple's a trillion.
I don't know.
The point that I'm making is that it's inflicted. Now, what's the problem here? It's because our stupid, ignorant, naive, imbecile brothers and sisters don't realize that when you watch a porn video, okay, it's as fake as watching an action video. It's an act. So they think what they're seeing in terms of what that man and woman are doing to each other is existing in the real world. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't work like that. It's not like that at all. It's literally like, imagine seeing an action movie. The guy gets shot, he jumps off a building, he catches the bullet, he swallows the bullet, he spits the bullet out, he does a backflip, he flies, he jumps onto the plane, he lands off the plane. Like, you know, no one will look at that and try to jump off the building themselves, would they? They'll know that only happens in an action movie. It's fake.
So it goes back to expectation.
So that's exactly. So I'm saying now the same way now, when you're watching that filth,
you're watching certain expectation.
You have and you have to understand that there's there is a biology at play here, because your body releases certain hormones when they see that. Okay, and those hormones are addictive. I think it's called dopamine. It's the feel-good hormone. So the dopamine gets anchored towards that visual. So you only feel that pleasure when you see that, because you've been exposed to it. You want that. You need that. You think you're gonna get it in your wife, or you think you're gonna get it in your husband, but when you don't get it, you don't get that dopamine release, which means you don't feel that pleasure. You don't feel that same joy as when you watch porn. So what happens? You go back to watching porn, or you don't go to porn because you're trying to be righteous. You lower your gaze, but you're angry. You're frustrated. Why? And then you know what you do? You start expecting things from your wife. You start to make her feel insecure. She thinks she's not good enough for you in the bedroom, or he thinks she's not good enough for you in the bedroom. Then this happens, and that happens, and before you know it, breakdown of marriage. I have a question for you. From all of my videos online that you might have seen, which one has been the most life-changing one for you so far? Many people told me that it was the video when we gave da'wah outside the Shisha Cafe. And I'll leave you with this. The Prophet ﷺ said, a time will come when holding on to my religion, holding on to Islam, will become as difficult as holding on to charcoal. The charcoals that we smoke shisha with. The Prophet said, try and hold on to it. It burns you, let go of it. The Prophet ﷺ said, that's what my religion will become like. Is it not like that today? Or maybe it was one of the other 1,000 plus videos that we have online. Whatever it was, I want to ask you a follow-up question. And that is, I want you to remember and recall what life was like before you saw that video, when you were distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when you're thinking of that and remembering that, I want you to be aware that there are many brothers and sisters who are still living life like that. They still haven't seen that one video that's going to help change their life. They haven't seen that one reminder that's going to touch them and bring them out from the darkness of sins to the brightness and the light and the happiness of guidance. But that doesn't mean that there isn't hope for them. They just need to come in contact with that kind of content online. And that's why myself and my team are dedicating the next 3 months, inshallah ta'ala, to flooding the internet with as much content on Tawheed and Sunnah and reminders about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as possible. But the issue is that in order for us to reach those targets, we're limited in terms of the resources that we have. We need to hire more people in our media team. We need to also buy new equipment. Now look, I am going to ask you to support this financially, but I'm not going to ask you for crazy numbers. For us, we don't need that kind of money. We need little money because we have a team that really believes in this. And the proof is in the pudding. If you see what we've done over the last summer, subhanAllah, you can see that the work that gets done, that money goes where it deserves to be placed. So I'm going to ask you, inshallah ta'ala, please inshallah ta'ala, give it the link below and let's flood the internet with La ilaha illallah.